Multiracial Malaysia is a vibrant, enchanting, dynamic and a peaceful country. As an ASEAN founding member, Malaysia plays a very important role to promote the peace and stability of the region. Malaysia recently celebrated its 50th year of Independence Day and is confident of its progress and future. Geographically, Malaysia is spread out from Peninsular Malaysia to Sarawak and Sabah. It has a population about 25 million people, and economically, it enjoys a strong positive growth rate. Its capital, Kuala Lumpur, is a lively city, bustling with life, and its skyline reflects its dynamism of a growing progressive country. Being a multicultural society, Malaysia is a melting pot of many colorful Asian cultures and has lots to offer visitors. On the physical side, more than half of land spaces in Malaysia are covered with natural greens. Malaysia, along with other ASEAN countries, is proactive in preserving its green lungs in the face of various challenges. And the ongoing efforts to conserve the rich, natural green beauty will be the theme of Malaysia's participation in this ASEAN Snapshot documentary series. In the ASEAN region alone, Malaysia and Indonesia are part of the 12 mega-diversity countries of the world. The tropical forests, which cover 14% of the Earth's land surface, are exceptionally rich in biological resources. Half of all vertebrates, 60% of all known plant species, and possibly 90% of the world's total species are found in tropical forests. In fact, the greatest diversity of species is found in tropical moist forests. Although covering only 7% of the land surface, these extraordinarily rich but fragile habitats contain more than 50% of the species in the entire world biota. Although the magnitude of the genetic resource is vast, so is the current rate of genetic loss. Species extinction rates are estimated at approximately 10 to 20,000 per year, or between 1,000 and 10,000 times faster than the natural rate before human intervention. It is therefore not surprising that in Malaysia alone, over 2.12 million hectares of national and state park, wildlife sanctuaries and reserves are gazetted as protected areas. Malaysia has several national parks in Peninsular Malaysia, as well as in Sabah and Sarawak. The abundant wildlife, secluded beaches and meandering trekking trails of the Bako National Park in Sarawak offers the environmental tourist an excellent introduction to the rainforest. There are very few places in the world that pack so much natural beauty into such a limited area. All its sheer range of attractions and activities have made Bako one of the most popular parks in Sarawak. It is quite accessible, as it is just about 37 kilometers from Sarawak's state capital, Kuching. Gazetted as a protected area on 1st May 1957, Bako is Sarawak's oldest national park, covering an area of 2,727 hectares at the tip of the Muara Tebas Peninsula. It is one of the smallest national parks in Sarawak, yet one of the most interesting, as it contains almost every type of vegetation found in Borneo, which amounts to 25 distinct types of vegetation from 7 complete ecosystems.
Bako National Park is the first national park to be established in Sarawak. Bako is a hotspot for mega biodiversity, and in this park you will find a variety of plant life and animal, like the proboscis monkey, the flying lemur, and there are also various other attractions where you will find various types of vegetation in this place.
Bako Park is probably the best place in Sarawak for wildlife experiences. The park has been a protected area since 1957, so the animals are less wary of humans, visitors especially. Those who stay overnight will have countless opportunities to observe and photograph various types of wildlife. The breaded pig is quite a common sight around the park, often looking for food. The best times for seeing wildlife at Bako are dawn and just before dusk, when the animals are at their most active. Bako is the home to approximately 150 rare proboscis monkey found only in Borneo. The proboscis monkey gets its name from its large fleshy nose. The male is an odd-looking creature with a huge pendulous nose and a large potbelly weighing in excess of 20 kilograms. Both male and females are covered in reddish-brown fur with grey limbs and a white tail. Proboscis monkeys are dependent on habitats that adjoin rivers and usually don't move farther than 1,969 feet from a river or stream. They sleep in trees, preferring thick branches growing over waters to protect themselves from predators. Proboscis monkeys give birth to only one baby at a time. Their gestation period is about 166 days. They will usually give birth at night. The young will stay close to their mother for about a year, or until she has another infant. They move about the forest or mangroves in small groups and feeding on young leaves, shoots, sour fruits and seeds. A large number of lizards are found at Bako National Park. The largest is the common water monitor, spotted grey in colour and reaching a length of 2 meters. Young monitors are greenish with yellow spots and therefore easier to be seen. They are strong swimmers and can stay submerged for a considerable length of time. Monitors are scavengers, feeding on carrion and occasional live prey. They are often found near the accommodation areas or near the boat jetty, scavenging for scraps of food. You may also see their tracks at the park beaches. Another national park that is worthy of attention is the state of Sabah's Danum Valley, which is about 80 kilometers west of Lahad Datu, Sabah's fourth largest town. It comprises 43,800 hectares of virgin rainforest. Rich in various unique flora and fauna, the area is more precisely known as Danum Valley Conservation Area, or DVCA, and has been recognized as one of the world's most complex ecosystems. The Danum Valley provides visitors with ecological experience into the wilds and wonders of ancient tropical forests. Knowledge of available flora in the Danum includes more than 1,300 species. Danum Valley lies within the upper reaches of Sabah's second largest river, the Sagama and its tributaries. The Danum Valley Conservation Area and the surrounding logged forest provide a crucially important habitat for the orangutans. The leaf-eating orangutans are remarkably intelligent, but are more solitary than other apes. The Danum Valley is an important research establishment for scientists and education purposes. Individual research projects have included many aspects of the ecological and environmental sciences, often within the broad themes of human-associated and natural environmental change and how these may impact upon long-term rainforest dynamics, biodiversity, and hydrological systems.
And here at Danum, we have a unique opportunity to study how the water behaves in the natural forest and how it behaves in a forest that was selectively harvested in 1989. And we've been able to measure the flows of water in the rivers and streams here for nearly 20 years, and we have a very good record of the changes that occur in the natural forest and those that have happened as a consequence of the timber industry. The natural environment is fine. If we learn to, as the old phrase says, design with nature, live with nature, we can work sustainably. If we don't, then some years into the future, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years into the future, we're going to have to spend an awful lot to put right the consequences of the mistakes that we made. And so the message with water is you have to control its flow rate. Once it's flowing, all you can do in all your flood control work is shift the water somewhere else. You can't reduce the quantity of water once it's in a river system. It's got to go down the river system. You can slow it down by putting dams or creating flood basins and things like this. The thing is, if you slow down the rate at which the water gets into the river system, you slow down the silt supply into the river system, your river becomes a lot more stable and you reduce your downstream problems. And that's difficult in this tropical environment because we get such terrific rainstorms, but it can be done. And that's where I hope the science that we're doing here at Danum has a big, wide application for the future.
The leading body undertaking various research projects at Danum Valley is the Royal Southeast Asia Rainforest Research Programme. Established in 1985, in response to mounting concern over the future of Southeast Asia's rainforests, a significant contribution could be made to their sustainable management and conservation. One such project undertaken is the research and study on the habitat and behaviour of wild animals in the Danum forest. The method used in this study is through the installation of remote sensing cameras placed in several locations. The tough and durable sensing camera would record wild animals' activities and will be collected after the 6th week. The photographs captured on the sensing cameras will be examined. The aim of the research is to understand the factors that contribute to the impact on the dynamics that affect the biodiversity in the tropical rainforest ecosystems.
One of the things I think that Malaysia and Sabah should be so proud of, and I know that many people are, is that Danum Valley is the premier station for the whole of Southeast Asia, you know, as regards rainforest science. And not just as regards rainforest science, but as regards spreading the message about selective, sustainable forestry and how you can have a productive forest and a lot of revenue from the forest and have conservation at the same time.
The Danum Valley and several other large primary forest protected areas, including the Maliau Basin and Imbak Canyon conservation areas in Sabah, are embedded within an exceptionally large forest concession measuring over 10,000 square kilometres operated by the Sabah Foundation. The forest has room for nature-loving tourists to enjoy its beauty. The Borneo Rainforest Lodge beside the Danum River is an international standard lodge. Unlike mass-market tourist destinations, the lodge accommodates a maximum of 60 people, ensuring each guest a unique and individual jungle experience.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Seeing a lot of wildlife. It's very hot, really sweaty, but no, I've really enjoyed it. Seen orangutans and loads of birds. So no, it's been really good. Yeah.
Very exciting to be here. I've not been to Europe before. It's my first trip to Asia. I've seen a lot of animals.
So what made you come to this place?
It's because of the animals and the nature. We don't have such like in Europe and Denmark, where I come from.
And across the South China Sea to Peninsula Malaysia, a large area that is still very much a virgin jungle that spread over 1,175 square kilometres of lush forest. The Royal Belum Forest Area is the second biggest national park in Peninsula Malaysia. After Taman Negara, at 4,343 square kilometres. The Royal Belum Forest is located in Perak and is divided into two sections. The Upper Belum area, which stretches to the Thai-Malaysia border, and the Lower Belum area, which is mostly covered by the Temengro Lake. The state of Perak has decided to preserve the Belum and the Temengro forests as a permanent nature reserve for research. It is internationally recognised as an important bird area by BirdLife International. The Belum Temengro complex has also been recognised in the National Physical Plan as an environmentally sensitive area, which is coincidentally also an important catchment area. The forest has over 3,000 species of flowering plants, including 3 species of Rafflesia, which is said to be the world's largest flower. There are 62 species of mosses and 64 species of ferns and palm-like plants that have existed since time began. Rafflesia is a parasite plant, which means that it doesn't need to make its own nutrients. It just sucks the nutrient out of its host, which is another plant. The large fleshy flower is what we usually notice. There are also lots of jungle mushrooms found in the Royal Belum Forest. These unique colourful plants are often of interest to nature lovers. There is also an abundant variety of insects crawling among the undergrowth in its forest in the role of maintaining nature's ecosystem. The Royal Belum Park is regarded as an important biodiversity research area. The State Park Management Authority has allowed low-impact tourism activities that will enable the eco-tourist visitors an opportunity to discover the beauty of the Belum Forest.
The level of awareness to environment, to conserve environment, is too low compared to other countries. We must conserve our forest, our natural resources, not only for human, but for the animal, the plants, and other organisms, to make sure that our natural resources is still for the future.
National parks in Malaysia are home to many tribes of indigenous people. The Jahai and Temia tribes are the main tribes found in the Royal Belum Forest. The Jahai are generally shorter, with darker skin and more curly hair than the Temias. And the Jahai lead a semi-nomadic life, whereas the Temia prefer a sedentary life. The forefathers of the Jahai tribe were nomadic people, and they lived on the land until the food in the area had been exhausted, whence they moved again. Today, many of the Jahai people live in settlements provided by the government, but there do remain a few families who have retained their own village outside of the settlements. The Temengro lakes around the Royal Belum Forest act as a natural pool to many Jahai children to swim at an early age, and on a hot day, they are often seen taking a dip in the lakes. The Jahai are exposed to visitors, and some are employed as guides and porters to tourist activities. Their staple food is tapioca, which they cultivate around their villages, and they collect fruits from the forest and hunt small animals and fish. They are less mobile than in the past due to the gradual change from shifting cultivation to semi-sedentary agricultural cultivation. Jahai settlements are frequently in areas where there is an abundance of rattan and bamboo plants, as these plants have a multitude of uses for their daily activities. Visitors to the Jahai tribe are often welcome, but be careful not to intrude into their private space. Though their dwelling seems sparse, but to them, it is as normal as one is at home. Managing a big park such as the Royal Belum Park is not a simple task. For Ms. Ailia Ainuddin, who is the Deputy Director from Perak State Park Corporation, The job of preserving and maintaining the park is her passion. Each week, she takes about 3 trips into the Royal Bellum Forest to inspect and make observations on various locations to ensure that conservation measures are implemented and monitored. Ms. Ilya Ainuddin takes pride in her job and feels that national parks are natural heritage to mankind, and more awareness campaigns on conservation and preservation of the parks should be targeted to the public. The flora and fauna of the forest is a great treasure and must be kept as it is and not be lost or damaged due to the pressure of development.
As management to the park, we ensure that the impact to the environment is minimized. We control the human activity. Nature is part of our life. Here in the tropical rainforest, not only we have to preserve the trees, we also have the flora, fauna, wildlife. For me, this Royal Bellum State Park is part of my life, so that of course I will preserve it, so that I really hope that the next 100 years this Royal Bellum still maintain natural as it is now.
Natural rainforest parks play many roles. It is a sanctuary for diverse species, the forest ecosystem, natural water retention, role in maintaining climate, and so forth. The 130 million year old rainforests of Malaysia are a heritage to preserve, and the challenge is now on to protect and conserve our most valuable resources, the living, breathing jungle around us that has sustained us and this country for generations now. Hand in hand with the other ASEAN countries, Malaysia must step forward and address these issues head-on before the damage done is irreversible. The land we live on should be afforded the respect and care that it deserves. Greater awareness and information on conservation measures should be implemented. Conservation is a choice we must all consciously make for a better today and tomorrow for all.